Meet John van Groningen. John is a lecturer and researcher. John has an in-depth knowledge in criminology.
I'm just going to read out your rap sheet.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'll start at the bottom. Okay? Illicit drugs.
Yeah.
Crime prevention and sentencing.
Yeah.
Criminal justice.
Yeah.
Victimology.
Yeah.
Delinquency.
Yeah. Those are all areas I've lectured in or been involved in.
Crime. Criminology. Corrections.
Yeah. Which is the main one. Yeah. When I went to work in California as a base grade prison officer at the age of 21, every person on the grounds, prisoners and staff, were all older than me on day one. I was hired supposedly to be the deputy superintendent of the Malmesbury Youth Training Center when it was still reasonable and small and all that. About a month after I was there, they said, look, you're now in charge because the superintendent's leaving. Within 3 months of that, someone said, without saying it, what we really brought you out here for is to be in charge of Pentridge. But we didn't know who you were and we didn't know much about you, so we thought we'd give you
a cushy job at Malmesbury.
Yeah, so then I went to Pentridge, and I was in charge of Pentridge.
For how
Then
long?
I went to work professional advisor to the Attorney General for a politician.
For
The
Victoria?
Victorian Attorney General.
Okay.
And I became what they call special advisor in corrections and criminology and criminal justice. I worked at the Law Reform Commission for a year or two,
Yes.
and which is a think tank, all right? And while I was working at the Law Reform, so I went from the criminal justice, from the Attorney General's office to the Law Reform Commission. I was approached by the then opposition's corrections minister that if I would come and take charge of the whole system if they got into office.
Well, there you go.
Which they did. If you keep getting caught, that means you didn't learn your trade very well. That really means you didn't learn your trade very well.
Absolutely.
Good thieves don't get caught. The whole issue here is behavior and how do you behave and why do you behave the way you do. That includes me and you. Behavior, whether we like it or not, is learned. You learned everything you know, and it's very hard to unlearn a lot of things. And the kids that are on the street have learned behavior as well. Their values, their standards that they live by have all been learned. They've been learned somewhere. Now, some of you may have watched TV or do watch TV. About, I think, 2 weeks ago now, you might remember a young guy in the States who took a gun to school and killed 3 of his classmates. Since that time, this made history. Since that time, both his mother and his father have been charged, and both of them are in jail. That's the first time that's happened. The parents have been held responsible for juniors. Now, in this case, he had a gun. I think his father borrowed, his mother taught him, took him to shooting range and all that. But the issue is the values that young fellow had caused him to do what he did. We spend a lot of time looking at kids who commit crimes, and we say, why do they do it? One of the things we don't do enough, and we need to do it, is say, why don't we look at the kids who don't commit crimes and find out how they're different?
John is requested regularly to speak publicly on his fields of expertise in corrections, crime and delinquency, as well as victimology, criminal justice, crime prevention, sentencing and illicit drugs. John is well respected in his local community and is an avid car enthusiast.